Hello my gorgeous people. You see, on the 17th of September 2020 we are going to have a new moon in the zodiac sign of Virgo, my gorgeous Virgolini. This is a powerful moment in time indeed, for a few different reasons. For once, Virgo is a very powerful sign, and when it comes to this particular combination of the actual spirituality, and when it comes to psychic feelings, when it comes to thinking, when it comes to the particular way of thinking, by being able to connect to things around us, on a whole different level. This is specifically purely because Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, is a very significant sign because of that, and it has got this particular ability to connect to things around, on a completely different level, and that in return makes Virgo very analytical, very powerful, very significant, because these are all the wonderful traits that Virgo was able to pick up from its ruling planet Mercury. These are very specific things about the Virgos that make Virgo rather unique. Pretty much so. It's a lot to do with Virgo's deepness, Virgo's way of thinking. This is Virgo's power. The actual third psychic eye has got the ability to expand itself throughout Virgo's subconscious mind, which in return makes Virgo very powerful in many different ways. So it's not only about the actual spirituality, purely because Virgo is able to benefit from these earthly energies on daily basis, every single day, because Virgo has got this ability to understand the earthly energies and all these different specific different dimensions. But that's at the same time, Virgo is rather powerful because it has this wonderful ability to actually ignore things subconsciously that would normally drain people's mind, you see. And in particular, when it comes to the actual spirituality, the thing about being spiritual and being able to understand, it's like a little bit of a giving and taking, a bit of a give and take at the same time, because I mentioned in my videos so many times, like for example, I normally people go through kind of specific days, people go through specific dates, people go through the actual specific time of the year when they act in a certain way. In particular, when it comes to the actual being able to connect, and being able to kind of feel things, and being able to kind of also be so open, to things around. So very often I say people, when I talk about this specific times of the year, specific days in a month, specific time in the days, I often say to people, oh, you are going to feel like a very psychic, you are going to feel like very sensitive, you are going to be picking up quite a lot, you are going to be able to connect to quite a lot, you are going to be able to kind of benefit so much from picking up on the little signs more than you normally do. These are all important, rather specific signs that we actually go through when we are very psychic. It all depends where we are at, it all depends on our spiritual journey, it all depends kind of what's happening in our lives at the moment. It depends on our karma, it depends on our past lives. It's a very deep and very spiritual and very complex subject indeed, because of many different ways. But the bottom line is, every single sign is specific, every single sign is powerful, every single sign is beautiful, every single sign of the horoscope have got something very specific and very beautiful and very interesting and very unique about them. And this is what I want to say about Virgo, and this is why Virgo is so specific, because at the time when I'm saying this to people, when I talk to people about, the certain specific time, or this particular time you're gonna have these psychic feelings and things like that, this is what I was going to say before. It's a bit of a give and take when it comes to the energy. It's just everything is this energy. Everything it's about balance, everything it's about vibration, and ultimately it's how we going to feel in conjunction with this once this is reflected on us. So if we have moments when we are feeling like, oh, very deep, very spiritual, you know, I often say to people that you are going to be spiritually open. This is how I call it. You're going to be very much so spiritually open, which means that you will be picking up a lot of signs and a lot that you will be able to pick up on that you don't normally pick up on. You see, my point here is that in situations like this, we're able to understand a lot, whichever which sign we are, it doesn't matter. But my point is that we are able to connect, you know, from a completely different level, like very much so spiritually, and understand little signs, notice signs when we don't normally notice little things on the floor that we don't normally notice, feel things that we don't normally feel, sense things that we don't normally sense. This is like a beautiful gift of God. It's like a blessing indeed in many different ways, because very often there are different spirits, you know, and different entities, positive like entities and angels, you know, guardian angels are trying to like guide us along the way. Our spirit guides are trying to let us know. But what does that happen? It's basically we expose ourselves to the actual certain energy, and once we expose ourselves to this certain energy, it's on one hand, you know, it's just a kind of, this is wonderful because you find out so much and you get little signs, and this is brilliant when it comes to our own personal guidance. But then on another hand, it does drain us, and this is what my point is. It does drain our energy when it comes to like these situations, when it comes to this time, when we are picking up the little signs, when we are so spiritually open. The bottom line is, my point is that when we are so spiritually open, our third psychic eye is wide open, so we are able to connect so much. But on another hand, yes, this does drain our energy a little bit, and this is what is very specific when it comes to Virgo in particular, and when it comes to the actual 17th of September, because oh my lord, it's going to be powerful, it's going to be significant, it's going to be really good, it's going to be really brilliant, and there is a lot that every single one of us are going to be able to pick up out of it. But what is very specific about Virgos, Virgolinis, my gorgeous Virgolinis, what is very special and very powerful about Virgolinis and Virgos is the fact that because Virgo is like constantly in this particular midst of this energy, you know, Virgo is always part of this energy, you know, like some other signs, like for example, Scorpio, Scorpioni, and are also like part of this energy, like very often. Libra, it's also part of this energy quite often. It really depends, but one of the most, it would be Virgolini, my gorgeous Virgos indeed. And what is very special about Virgo that we are all going to be benefiting from, like my Lord, like there is no tomorrow, on the 17th of September, it's not only about that particular day, you know, I said so many times, it's the actual, you know, 2 or 3 days earlier, you know, 3 days earlier, we will be able to feel this particular energy, and we collectively as everybody, not necessarily Virgolini, not necessarily Virgo, how I call them Virgolini, because you know that every single sign of Zodiac has got a name by myself, of course, because you're all special, you're all beautiful, you're all unique indeed. But when it comes to this 17th of the actual September, we are going to be able to find this so beneficial in so many different ways. 3 days earlier, as I've already mentioned, it's just we're going to be able to pick up on certain things, you know, collectively, every single sign of Zodiac, and we will be able to use this powerful uniqueness when it comes to Virgo, this powerful uniqueness of being able to connect, being able to understand, being able to receive, being able to perceive, being able to get things, being able to connect things, being able to use this wonderful mind-blowing energy, but all for our own benefit in so many different ways, because we are going to be able to, you know, to climb the personal ladder of the actual spiritual journey that we are at, because we will be able to benefit from this Virgolini's energy, Virgo energy, like there is no tomorrow. And what is this energy that that I'm talking about that we are exactly going to benefit from? Well, I said already, it's to do with the Mercury, Virgo being so special and so different and so particular when it comes to being ruled by the actual Mercury, which just is giving this wonderful and really mind-blowing ability to Virgo when it comes to the organization, when it comes to being specific, when it comes to being particular. But it's all these things, you know, on another hand, that's just as strong, as powerful, as significant, as absolutely super powerful when it comes to Virgo being also very spiritual, you see. So all these things that I've said are as strong and as powerful when Virgo is like really analytical, very organized, and these are like a very special things about Virgo when it comes to planning and things like that. And that in itself is creating such an important vortex of energy at the same time, which keeps Virgos really balanced. So Virgo doesn't get doesn't get drained as much when Virgo is open to the spirituality, when Virgo is open to unknown, when Virgo is open to uncertain, when Virgo is open to paranormal, when Virgo is open to like a psychic abilities, when Virgo is open like to meditation, when Virgo is open to grounding, you know, when Virgo is open like to all the things around that are very specific, in particular when it comes to the understanding of its own way, of its own path, of its own spirituality. And when we are going through these things, you know, collectively as every single sign of Zodiac, you know, it's draining our energy a little bit. And the Virgo has got this remarkable mind-blowing balance at the same time, which gives to Virgo the right ability, the perfect ability and power to communicate, to plan, to organize, to think, you know, to come up with a plan, you know, like to really think very strategically, but to also have this very strong and powerful vibration of being grounded, you know, when it comes to like being very firm, when it comes to being full of ideas, when it comes to like being able to pinpoint on things that you want to do. But at the same time, Virgo provides you and gives you this courage that keeps you pushing, that push you, you know, and this pushing keeps you going. And it's very important to be rather courageous at the same time, because, you know, like in 95% of things that we do, we subconsciously or even consciously block ourselves from making things happen or making things begin or start or manifest, purely because we block ourselves because of uncertainties. And this is because we are not certain, and this in itself is just already starting to close like a certain doors in front of us, because it's messing up with our own bravery. And that on another hand, it's very like quite a sensitive subject when it comes to our spirituality, our spirit journey, because we need to have the right balance. And this is why it's so perfect to actually benefit from this Virgo energy, because we will be able to connect on such a high and very deep and very spiritual level, you know, from the 17th of September, but it's actually 3 days earlier, 14, 15, 16, you saw, say 14, 15 and 16th, and then 17th, you see. From the 14th of September, really, we will be able to feel this balance, this wonderful energy from the 14th of September. Then we've got 3 days to play with before the actual 17th of September. And then on the 17th of September, it's going to be like a boom, you know, the boom, really wonderful and powerful energy that it's all going to pull us in so beautifully. We will want to have a change. We will feel like we will want to have like a new direction. You know, we will have lots of ideas that are going to keep on coming to us without us realizing, oh my God, where these ideas are actually coming from. It's even more particular and very specific that after this new moon in Virgo, of course, the moon is going to go into the actual Libra, and this is very specific and it's significant in this moment in time, because both Virgo and Libra are very Virgolini and Libra are both very powerful when it comes to balance, when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to the actual, this beautiful and particular fresh energy that it's also is keep on pushing us going. So it's very specific and particular to say also that after that, it's almost like the actual continuation of this powerful energy, which is also going to be very specific, and most certainly it's going to be pushing us towards the actual action, because Libra, it's also very powerful, very significant, very intuitive in so many different ways, but also it's a lot to do with an action because of the right balance. So Libra is just going to jump in at the right moment in time, and it's going to be keeping us balanced. So this new moon, it's going to be prolonged, you know, for for slightly longer when it comes to these feelings of optimism, when it comes to this refreshed energy, and when it comes to the ideas that we really need to pay attention to. So this is what is so special, and this is what is so wonderful when it comes to the actual Virgolinis, and you know, this energy, like 3 days earlier, we will be able to connect from a completely higher perspective. And when does that happen? Normally it's draining our energy, and it affects us, you know, it affects our way of thinking, it affects our way of planning, and ultimately it affects our energy. So it does kind of, in a long term, in a long run, you know, we are able to feel this so much, we are able to sense this, and we are able to feel this in such a way when, like, is the particular energy that is like kind of slowing us down purely because we are not finding ourselves as energetic as we would normally be. Almost like the little limits would come. If there wasn't like a new moon in Virgo, then there would be like a limits that we would have. It was almost be like it would all be fine, but we would be with the actual limits. And like this, we don't have the actual limits because Virgo is keeping this wonderful balance. Virgo is keeping this wonderful energy. Virgo is very strong, and it's very unique, and it's very special, and it's very powerful because, as I said, it's giving us the power of spirituality, the power for understanding, the power of opening our eyes, the power of encouragement as well. At the same time, it's making sure that our balance basically more or less stays intact, and this balance that stays intact, it's the main factor in us just keep going and making the most of it. So I am most certainly talking about Virgo, which is like a very deep Virgo. It's very spiritual. Virgo is very powerful. So which means that, you know, 3 days earlier and on the 17th of September and 3 days later, so we've got like about 1 whole week to play with, and then even, you know, and then later the moon will go into Libra, which is just going to be like literally the actual continuation of this, more to do with the balance, and more to do with the great energy that it's also going to be helping us to keep going. But it's a lot to do when it comes to the actual, you know, it's great to pay attention to the actual organization within these 7 weeks. Pay attention to what comes to you every single morning. This is all about your connection with your spirituality, with your angel guides. I've said this millions of times, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. It's when we sleep, the rest of our brain works. You know, when we are aware, when we are conscious, you know, obviously there is only certain tiny little amount of brain is actually working. But if we had the whole brain consciously working and being connected to us, you know, we would be able to just jump out of the window and literally fly. We would be able to do all sorts of things, but we are not. But when we go to sleep, we connect on a very deep level, on a very spiritual level, and this is very important because it gives us time to think from a completely different perspective. It makes us wise. It makes us, you know, we travel every single evening, every single night when we fell asleep because the rest of our brain is working, so we are able to stretch so much more, and we become wiser and wiser every single night when we go to sleep. And this is why we have astral projections, we have all sorts of psychic dreams, we have all sorts of thinking, you know, thoughts like coming to our mind. You know, it's very special. And once you learn this practice of like sleeping, if I can say, like a dreaming, you know, and relaxing beforehand and asking the universe the question, asking the God a question, asking your angels, your guardian angels or your spirit guides the questions in the right way before you go to sleep, it's remarkable what you can do. It's remarkable what you can achieve. It's remarkable how you can use this later on in order to help you, because you receive the answers from somewhere so wise, so incredible, so huge and so important. At the same time, what I was going to say, this is why pay attention to over the 7 days, please, my Lord, it's important. Pay attention to what is on your mind in specifically very first thing in the morning, because this is the time, the first few minutes, you know, that you need to pay attention. Why are you thinking about this particular thing? Why are you suddenly thinking about your work? Why are you suddenly thinking about that person? Why you suddenly think that you need to I don't know, like water your garden? Why do you suddenly thinking about that paperwork you need to do? Why do you suddenly think about certain negotiation? Why do you suddenly think about a certain problem that you had for in the last few weeks? Why are you thinking about a certain issue that you had like about 6 or 7 months ago? It was unresolved. That's why. And this is why every single thing that I mentioned so far, just please pay attention, because it's going to come from somewhere else. It's going to come from deep within, and there are lots of different answers and directions and solutions to your problems that you're actually going to have. And this is why this is so important, because obviously, as I said, Virgo Virgo is just like a connected to deeply, so deeply to the actual earthly energies, and this is the benefit that every single person in this world is going to be able to benefit from indeed. So this is the type of connection that I think. But on another hand, just pay attention to what ideas you have throughout this week. Pay attention to what you're drawn to. Pay attention to any signs around you. Because very often, our relatives that have passed away will try to make a contact with when the energy is so right, when the energy is so perfect, when the energy is so significant. And this energy is also going to be quite significant, as like when the energy is on the 31st of October. Every 31st of October, they call it, some people call it Halloween, some people call it Samhain. It's a very old holiday, but it's so much more to do than just being Halloween. It's a lot to do with the energy, and it's a lot to do with the spirits coming through, coming forward. It's a lot to do with our spirit guides, with our guardian angels, with connection, reconnection, because the veil in between this world and the spirit world, it's very thin. It's in fact at its thinnest on the every 31st of October. But again, it's a couple of days earlier that we can feel this like ooh la la va vumish energy. On that then, couple of days later, even 2 or 3 days later, we can feel the spirits, we can feel this energy. And this is exactly pretty much so mirroring what is going to be happening on the 17th of September, when we are going to have a new moon in Virgo. So it's all about paying attention to little signs, paying attention to little signals, paying attention to which problems are going to show up, because this is going to also lead somewhere else. But it's remarkable and mind-blowing time to use, like to try to focus on things around you, try to see what you can change, try to focus on yourself, on your path, try to organize and reorganize as much as you possibly can. But the more you change, within this week, the better it's going to be. The more you want to expand yourself, the better it's going to be. Whatever you are doing, whatever your spiritual journey you are at the moment, whatever you're trying to do, it is just the time to kind of stop a little bit, pause, just think about it, and only your thinking way, that only this way you're going to be able to provide already like a huge amount of energy, which is just going to help you to bounce back towards a very important answer that you wouldn't normally have. So it's a lot about like chilling out, and maybe also trying to kind of like pay attention to what your body is also trying to tell you, because Virgo, it's a lot about like the feeling, body connection, reconnection, mind, body and spirit. Very important indeed. So this is also going to be an excellent time to pay attention to what your body is trying to say to you as well. Very important, very particular and very specific. There are certain things that you're gonna come across that you wouldn't normally come across, and this is why this time it's going to be absolutely wonderful. And also when it comes to action, on one hand I said it's a great time to chill out and see what you feel connected to when it comes to meditation and grounding, because there are going to be lots of informations that you're going to be receiving at the same time. It's very important. But on another hand, it's a fantastic time for action, fantastic time to deal with things, fantastic time to deal with problems, fantastic times to deal with issues, and in particular those issues that have been so heavy in our lives, those issues that we really didn't know what to do, where to turn and how to act and how to react, those heavy difficult issues that are surrounded by lots of changes. It's like a domino effect. This is very powerful time, because the answers and the wiseness that you're going to feel, you're going going to be able to use from a completely different level. And trust me, it is just going to happen very quickly, like with a snap of a finger. Indeed, the way things are going to turn, and they're just going to guide you towards the door, towards the path where you should be. And it always ends up with, oh my God, it was so easy. Oh my God, it wasn't so difficult. This is why this is so important, because again, you are benefiting from this wonderful and powerful earthly energies that Virgo, gorgeous Virgo, is going to be able to provide for us throughout this little journey. On another hand, if you need a little bit of like a courage, you know, this is also time where you're gonna surprise yourself. This is the time when we surprise ourselves the most, in particular when it comes to the lack of courage. But then again, we've got this wonderful spiritual flip-flop moment which provides us with the courage, because it sets us on the right path, it sets us on the right journey. But it does it so clever, it happens so cleverly that, you know, throughout all these changes and the necessary effort that we put in, you know, then the balance is just absolutely right, and things like kind of happen so much quicker and so much sooner without even noticing necessarily the relevant steps that we have done, because they haven't been as bad or as negative or as heavy as we previously thought, or what we could have imagined. And this is why it's wonderful to use this energy. If you want to look smart, I'm not saying that you don't look smart, I'm saying if you want to appear to someone, to a specific person in a certain light, maybe you want to talk about job, maybe if you want to talk about career, maybe you want to negotiate a little bit, you know, maybe you want to sign something, just any kind of like a certain specific energy that you want to appear towards someone, you can always do that, of course. But now these 7 days are going to be remarkable if you want to prove yourself, if you want to show yourself, if you want to bring attention towards you, bring attention on you. And even if you're working like 20 people are work together, for example, when it's the time of like a new moon in Virgo, this is why it's so wonderful, because you will be able to just kind of believe in it, just kind of trust this energy, trust yourself, you know, enjoy this energy, enjoy this love, enjoy this vibration, enjoy this power. These are all positive thinking thoughts that you need to have in your head in order to like make this vibration more significant, more powerful. And this is all what you need in order to kind of come to a very important swift energy change within you that you're going to be able to create with your own power of your mind by directing this energy in the right way at the right moment in time. So this is all what you need to do, what you need to understand, and this is exactly what you're going to be projecting. So if you are working like a part of the group or part of the team, maybe you're retired, maybe you go to paint, you know, painting classes and things like that, and you want to be noticed, and just remember that it is the Virgo energy. It's going to not led you astray. It's the Virgo energy is guiding you. It's the Virgo energy is directing you. And the more you think about it, the more powerful you're going to be. The more you think about it, the more you're going to achieve. The more you think about it, the more you're going to make. The more you think about it, the more you're going to project. And this comes like when it comes to like work, looking for a job, looking for work, if you want to prove your point, you know, anything like that. This is an absolutely excellent time. Not only because you're going to have a courage, but you're going to feel super smart. You know, I'm not saying that you're not feeling super smart normally, please don't get me wrong, but you are really be going with such an important little powerful flow, and you will be surprising yourself on this path, on this journey. You know, you're going to be surprising yourself, and this is why it's so wonderful, because the Virgo new moon is also going to give you this opportunity every single time when you do something, when you say something. Oh, this is because it's a new moon in Virgo, and this is why you just do things that anything that you want to prove yourself, just go for it. Or even if you're like kind of, if you're lost a little bit and if you're unsure with your life a little bit as well, if you're not too sure what to do, which path to go, which path to take, if you feel really low, if you feel really down, if you feel really negative, it happens to every single one of us every now and then. It's all about finding your way out. Now what you also do, and it's incredible, it's about connection, reconnection, meditation. Maybe you will want to go outside if you're able to go outside. you know, and go inside the forest and try to connect and reconnect. Maybe you can go and sit by the water, go and meditate by the water. This is also wonderful for connection, reconnection. You know, it is just something really wonderful and very valuable that is going to come to you, that is just going to literally set you free. Very bright, very important, very significant, very strong and very powerful, which is most certainly going to be connected to the bright prospects with unlimited possibilities that you wouldn't normally have. So this is a fantastic time also if you feel lost, not necessarily lost, but if you lost the sense of direction, if you're unsure which way to go, if you're contemplating, this is an absolutely mind-blowing vavumish time for the actual contemplation as well. Very, very great. It is just all about what I said before. Do you know what is my favorite, like a saying is, if you don't jump in the water, you will never learn how to swim. Most certainly, and I'm going to say this again, this is most certainly time to jump in the water and learn how to swim, because oh my lord, it's time to jump, my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful people. So I'm just going to say briefly how is this actually how is this time going to affect every single sign of the zodiac. Of course, for Virgo, this is going to be super strong, super specific. I mean, Virgos, you are going to feel this like so much, like there is no tomorrow. Everything that I said, you're gonna feel like you're on top of the world. Use it wisely, because this energy is going to be very powerful. Everything that I said for every sign, you will be able to feel, my gorgeous Virgolini, from a completely different angle. Very powerful, very strong, very specific, very significant. So that's why it is the great time to come to terms with certain problems and deal with certain problems, my gorgeous Virgolinis. But I am going to come to you indeed. So now I'm just going to say how this is going to affect my gorgeous, my ever so precious Erinis, and what you should be doing within this time, apart from everything else that I've said so far. My gorgeous Erinis, this is the time for a home, to focus on home. My gorgeous Aries, this is the time for home, Erinis, and you need to focus on your home, and also you need to focus on those things that are giving you pleasure, that are bringing you pleasure at the same time, things that are making you feel content and things that are bringing you peace. It's a wonderful and very important time for the actual adjustment. Focus on things around you. What do you need to change? What does it needs to go? And what do you need to bring in? It's wonderful because it's just going to change your life in so many different ways, in so many different levels, because every single time you get your mind thinking, you know, what you need to change, what you need to bring in, what you need to take out, this is all going to be so beneficial for you very soon after, because it's going to really be absolutely super powerful when it comes to your vibrance of your own energy. It's really going to help you to contain your energy, and also at the same time, what else I was going to say, basically you're going to find this very beneficial, and you will see exactly what I mean. But on another hand, there is a very important plan that you are going to be able to understand. There is a very important plan that you are going to have, my gorgeous Erinis. So pay attention which plan is going to come through, which plan is going to come forward. It's to do with the past. It's also to do with a certain wish, but it's also perhaps to do with an attempt before in the past. Maybe perhaps you had a certain attempt, but that doesn't matter. It just means even more strongly that this is going to be the great time for you, my gorgeous Erinis. And now the time is right. Okay, the second sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Taurinis, my gorgeous Taurus. Indeed, this is such a good time when it comes to the actual action, when it comes to the actual trust, when it comes to the actual flexibility. These three things are going to be very important when it comes to you, my gorgeous Taurinis. But also just remember that you need to trust yourself. You need to focus. This is the time of focus. This is the time of trust. This is the time of flexibility, in particular when it comes to things that you feel connected to, when it comes to things that you feel close to, when it comes to things that you feel devoted to. It's all about your energy being so super powerful that is just not only going to be completely beneficial for you, like it's going to, so much is going to return to you. The more you put into things that makes you happy, the more you put things into things that you feel devoted towards, the more you think about it, the more you focus on it, the more you will understand something that you didn't understand up until this point. And it's important because it's going to put you so much closer where you should be. And it is going to be connected to the little kind of uncertainty. It is going to be connected to little doubting, and little kind of, oh my God, should I do this or not? Should I do this or not? But most certainly you are slowly going to be guided towards something very specific, something that you should be paying attention to, but it's also something to do with the brand new opportunity and the path which is about to be revealed to you at the same time, my gorgeous Taurinis. This is a very important time because also on another hand it's to do with the progress, but it's also to do with an quite remarkable opportunity that you are going to have. You will realize that when it comes to the certain something that was bringing you down and something that was draining your energy, so far, there is also going to be quite important in the good news that you are going to have at the same time. But please do try to kind of meditate a little bit. If you can meditate, my gorgeous Taurinis, throughout this week, if you can meditate by the water, if you can also meditate by the actual by the water, if you can meditate like in the forest, or if you can like in the nature, some kind of reconnection or connection with nature is going to be remarkable, because something very, very specific is going to come to you, and it's great to pay attention because that is going to be the answer for change. An important answer when it comes to change is going to come to you. So this is how you're going to be able to connect to this, my gorgeous Taurinis, and benefit from these earthly energies that Virgo is going to provide for you. Okay, the third important sign that important sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Gemini. It is the understanding that you are going to have. It is the understanding that you're going to have when it comes to the specific issue that was causing so much negativity over the last 12 to 13 months in your life. This is the part of the big picture. It's a lot to do with your maybe the dearest people in your life, maybe lots of misunderstanding in between you and your family members, that was causing you, making you to come to this particular stage, to come to this particular moment. And it has been a while now that there was some kind of misunderstanding that was going, and it just went somewhere else. So it is down to you, it is up to you, and most certainly you are going to be the one who's going to pull the card, very important and specific card, which means you are ready for change. You are. Before that, you're going to hear a quite significant news, but then the most certainly it's about you having an absolutely remarkable, wise understanding. There is something, that is just going to take place, and it's going to happen, and it's going to make you feel absolutely remarkable. This is because you will know, my gorgeous Gemini, that something really big is about to happen, some really massive, huge, enormous change is about to take place, and you will be aware of this because you will be able to feel this, you will be able to sense this like there is no tomorrow at around this week when the new moon is in Virgo. And this is going to be keep you going, this is going to refresh you, this is going to regenerate you, and that in itself is going to start building your power and your energy, and this is why you're going to feel so solid and so strong, and that energy is going to be so beneficial because it's going to motivate you, so that it's going to be directly responsible for you having a quite important understanding when it comes to the specific situation in your life that you couldn't kind of get up until this point, and now it's not going to seem as bad. It is all going to make sense, but most certainly this is an important week when it comes to you finding yourself on the actual path of an enlightenment, an important enlightenment, my gorgeous Geminis. You're also going to be able to, you will receive a really important and very interesting advice. My gorgeous Geminis, just pay attention to the advice that you are going to receive. It's going to be very strange, it's going to be unusual, maybe it's going to kind of piss you off a little bit, you know, because maybe it's going to be about someone in your life that you kind of don't want to be hurt, or maybe it's around someone in your life who you don't want someone to talk about in a certain way. However, you know, and it is going to boil down to the actual truth, and you will know this. And the bottom line is, it's a very interesting advice that you're actually going to get. On another hand, you know, this is the time of growth and progress, in particular when it comes to hard work. So I'm not saying that you need to work, but as I'm saying, the more you kind of like do things, the more you're gonna gain out. The more you make, the more you put energy towards things, you know, the more you're gonna get out, you know, on a really big spectrum of things in general. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Cancerini, my gorgeous Cancer, my beautiful Cancerinis. You know, I like it because you're going to have a bit of a double whammy. First of all, you're going to feel like an overburdened feeling and a little bit of stress and a little bit of pressure, but then very quickly you shall have like a bit of a yin-yang moment at the same time. That yin-yang moment that you're going to have at the same time, it's going to be directly responsible for you starting to feel a little bit of excessive pressure, but then again, problems are soon going to be resolved. And this is so brilliant, and this is why it's going to be half and a half. So it's brilliant, and at the same time, when this specific vibration and energy take its place, then you also end up with an absolutely remarkable idea. Watch the idea that is going to come to you. Watch the idea, because that idea is going to be very beneficial, so beautifully, very profitable. But it's not only about that, it's about you doing things that you want to do. And this is something that you're going to feel very deeply like you're ready for it. You're ready for it. That's how you're going to feel it. And this is so important because it's direct result or direct answer to certain things that have been happening to you, my gorgeous Cancerini, over the last 10 months in particular, that made you feel a little bit scared, that made you feel a little bit uneasy, that made you feel a little bit uncertain. So this is going to be kind of way out of that situation, but also very beneficial indeed. I like it, I like it, I like it, because for you it's not only about the security that you're going to have, but it's also an important opportunity that it's going to become rather obvious, you know, for many different ways, for many different reasons. You should also contemplate and meditate as much as you can this at around this week, because you will have these interesting possibilities that are going to come to you in form of ideas that you wouldn't normally have. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Leonis. My gorgeous Leos, my beautiful Leonis, you know, it is just so good because it's like all about you coming to terms with something very important. This is all coming to terms with changes. It's coming to terms with who you are. It's coming to terms with how you're gonna deal with things. It's coming to term with how you it's coming to term how you're gonna plan with things. It's coming to term. It's coming to term like how to express yourself, how to explain yourself, because you are going to be able to really see your life honestly, like from a completely different angle. You will have this magical and wonderful opportunity and possibility to connect to this situation. And this is nothing unusual, because you are of course Leone, and then we have a Virgo. So basically this is nothing unusual because your sign is very close to Virgo, which means that you're able to benefit from this energy, but also most certainly like from a very much higher angle, from a really higher perspective. But in particular when it comes to your personal connection, when it comes to your balance, and when it comes to things that have been kind of on your mind over the last few months, not only over the last few months, but I am talking about things that have been bringing you down, that have been making you feel really unhappy, you know, over the last 2 years. I'm not saying unhappy like, oh God, like a misery, depression. No, baby, no. I'm talking about things that you've realized that are part of your spiritual journey. I'm talking about things that you've realized that you need to do in order to change. And I'm talking about things that you realized long time ago that are making you happy, but you're just trying to you're waiting for the right moment, for the right time, in order to go for it, in order to go with this particular flow. Over the last few months, it's very important to mention that you have been getting to this particular point. So this is going to be such a magical blessing for you, my gorgeous Leonis. It's all about a new life. It's all about a new dawn. It's all about you feeling your emotions. It's all about you following your journey. It's all about you looking at things from a completely different angle, but having the ability to understand this and to see way beyond that. You're going to be absolutely fine when you do make these crucial changes. This week is primarily responsible for you coming to terms with the fact that you are going to have a huge changes later on, but it's nothing that is going to happen like out of the blue, baby, like nothing that is just going to manifest just like this. No, baby, no. This is the part of the long process. It's part of the who you are. It's part of the who you are deep within, and it's also part of your passion and what are you meant to do. So this is very important, but it's to do with making a big change later on, but it's a lot of contemplation that you will have, a bit of a meditation at the same time. It's going to help like there is no tomorrow, because that is going to help you to bring things closer, and also to kind of when it comes to certain timing, you know, there are going to be lots of little answers and idea that you're going to have. However, there will be something in specific that you're going to start completely new, that you're going to allow yourself to do this, and you're really going to start enjoying this new leaf that you're going to turn in your life, my gorgeous Leonis. It's important because it's to do with your security, but it's also to do with a really important like continuation. It's to do with the actual harmony. It's to do with the balance. And it's also to do with an important progress and justice, you know, and justice, when we have a justice, you know, in particular, when it comes to the situation like this, you know, it's going to end up being really remarkable, because at the same time, it is just somewhere karmically where you should be. So there is going to be the swift change, and it's going to happen in a form of like a really quick little jump, you know. Sometimes in the situations like this, you know, there are a few things happen, and we are surprised like about the actual outcome, in particular when it comes to us like responding to it. These are one of the situations that are going to be quite significant here as well. An important week when it comes to relationships in general. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Virgolinis. And now Virgo, like, oh my Lord, it's like on top of the world. You're going to be very clever. You're always clever indeed, but now you're going to be even more clever. Now you will be able to be so specific, you know, and especially when it comes to big things in your life, big changes, big decisions, and in particular, when it comes to those decisions that you are so uncertain, those decisions that are so big, but you being Virgo, you being Virgolini, then you're doubting a lot, because you want to feel and see and sense things from every single angle until you're completely certain that it's something that you want to go for it. Virgolinis are sometimes like a little kitties, you know, like a little cats, you know, because Virgos sometimes don't like changes, and if changes happen too abruptly or too quickly or too soon, then Virgo is like a cat. It takes a long time for Virgolini to kind of adjust to these particular changes. This is nothing unusual, but it's a very specific and very significant trait about Virgo. So Virgo just need to be kind of like a very certain when the certain changes, you know, are about to happen, and Virgo needs to feel like completely full on ready for the certain direction to reveal itself, in order for Virgo to actually go for it and follow that path. What is very remarkable here, my gorgeous Virgolinis, is that you will be able to feel this energy like, oh my God. Try to meditate as much as you can. Try to pay attention to like what's the first thing on your mind every single morning, because there are going to be superb signs that you are going to have, but also it is going to be the sign from the spirit that you are going to have, my gorgeous Virgolini. So watch for the sign from the spirit. This could be somebody who was in your life, or this could be somebody who's like just passing by. It is going to be very important, but at the same time, pay attention to the actual synchronicity, connection, reconnection, your subconscious mind and your thinking process, because at the time when you see this sign from the spirit, that is a very important moment, my gorgeous Virgolini. And it's going to mean it's about paying attention to what was on your mind, because something is going to be answered to you. On one hand, it's going to be proven to you. It's going to be like more about the accomplishment and more about the actual time when you're at the same time going to start feeling very courageous, because it's about the accomplishment, but also at the same time confirmation. It's about the actual change that you're going to become aware of, but also at the same time it's the opportunity that is going to be around it as well. So it's just, my Lord, pay attention to the actual sign and pay attention to what was on your mind at the time when you saw this sign, and even what was on your mind that morning or the morning before, if you can possibly remember, because this is going to be part of the really deep and powerful picture, and there are lots of this puzzle is going to resolve way more than you can possibly imagine. So watch for the sign from the spirit. But on another hand, my gorgeous Virgolinis, this is the time to actually really go for the be as optimistic as you can, because your power will be very strong. You will be able to project your energy, so just use it wisely, my gorgeous Virgolinis. But also on another hand, it's to do with the actual good news. You know, you're going to hear a very good news. This is a powerful moment in time, and it's to do with your gain. It's to do with an advancement. It's something that you expected, but it's again going to go on a whole new level, because it's going to be connected to the certain promotion. So the next stage of where you are, it's going to become evident, my gorgeous Virgolinis. But at the same time, it's about the idea that you're going to have. Any idea that you're going to have, my gorgeous Virgolinis, at this time, it's going to start taking off on the 21st of April 2021 and onwards. So any idea you have, and you will have an important idea, my gorgeous Virgolinis, it's going to take off on the 21st of April 2021 onwards. On another hand, you know what? An invitation or opportunity, just, my Lord Virgo, this is important because it's specifically to do with you, and it's specifically to do with your sign. It's specifically to do with your spirituality. It's the actual invitation or opportunity that you are going to have, and it's important because it's just where you should be. It's something that you will find very attractive, but then on another hand, it's to do with an important request and challenge. My God, any challenge you have, my gorgeous Virgolini, just go for it. The weirder challenge, the actual challenge feels, the better it's going to be. The weirder challenge feels, the more wonderful it's going to be later on. But also, it is going to bring you an important happiness, because most certainly it's to do with the actual change that you're going to be aware of, that you were waiting for a while, that is just going to provide you a little spiritual shortcut at this moment in time. Okay, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my ever so precious Libra. My gorgeous Libra, you know, Libra, this is going to give you such a power when it comes to talking, when it comes to explaining yourself, when it comes to expressing yourself. There is something so magical going to be about your mouth, you know, about your tongue, you know, so specific and so wonderful. I know it sounds really weird, but it's going to give you the gift of conversation, communication, the gift of explaining yourself, you know, and this is a very powerful in so many different ways, you know, because it's also, you are going to kind of come across the certain issue and the certain problem, and that certain issue and the certain problem is just going to kind of take you aback a little bit, but then in such a sense that you're not going to completely be like, oh my God, surprised, but you're still going to feel like a little bit taken away, you know. And this is why it's important for me to explain this, because in this situation, when you go through this, you are going to need to make a very quick decision, and don't just get kind of like lost in this like kind of vortex of this energy that can make you think otherwise, and it can make you like kind of like think in a slightly different way, because it's going to be so powerful. On one hand, it's going to be keep on driving you, but on another hand, it's down to you, and it's up to you how you're going to respond to things and to the actual situations. So something is going to happen so quickly, and it's going to set you back a little bit, you know, throughout this week. But this is important. Please don't get me wrong. wrong. I'm not trying to be dark Lala again, but it's important because this is on your way towards a really powerful light at the end of the tunnel. This is the last bit of rain that you will be feeling in this particular way, which is about to bring you a mind-blowing sunshine. This is why this is so important. So any kind of situation that makes like, oh, I'm not too sure, you know, and it's going to kind of surprise you a little bit, but there is going to be the response that is going to be needed from you. So you need to be really sharp, and you need to remember this, you know. And sometimes, you know, when the certain situation arise in our lives, they make us feel like a little bit they drain our energy, and it drains our energy in a particular way that we kind of like get lost with our thoughts and thinking process. And then when we go, we think, oh, I should have said this, or I should have done that, or I should have responded like this. This is what it is, my babies. You need to respond, you need to be quick, and you need to be sharp. Trust me, you benefit from Virgo energy, but you are all about to balance yourself. So it's important to say this, to make sure you understand, because this is to do with your own justice. If you respond really quickly, this is going to be remarkable, because on one hand it is going to bring you towards your own devotion, and on another hand it's all about the actual flexibility, and you are going to be able to kind of start moving away from the situation that no longer serves you after this moment in time. It's all about you being prepared in order to have this courage. Now when you listen to me, my gorgeous Libra, you're already going to be prepared, so it's going to be absolutely fine. But most certainly it is just something that is going to be connected to your own gateway. Something really wonderful, mind-blowing is going to happen to you at the end of this time, at the end of this particular week, at the end of these days that I've actually said. I said 7 days to play with, but the 17th of September, it's going to be the most important. But at the end of this time, this is going to be like your gateway, because you are going to come out of the time, you know, pure reflection of a little bit of stress and anxiety that you might have felt, you know, because of the uncertainties in your life over the last 7 months. So now it is about the success that you are going to have financially. It's good because it's about the gain and security, but then again, an important obstacle. You are going to go over an important obstacle, my gorgeous Libra, and this is so brilliant because you're going to surprise yourself. Just pay attention, you will surprise yourself. And this is what is so beautiful and so special and so significant about it. It's about your victory, but also an important negotiation. Just remember, if you need to sort out the problems, negotiations are remarkable at this moment in time. But there will be some kind of negotiation, and you're going to do so well as well. But if you do need to have negotiation, my gorgeous Libra, just go for it, my gorgeous people. Indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Scorpione. My gorgeous Scorpio, you see, it is just so good because on one hand you really need to kind of like also pay attention to what you want to change around you. Pay attention to what would you like to exchange, you know, in particular when it comes to your home, in particular when it comes to your immediate environment, in particular when it comes to like maybe your working environment, you know, and things like that. Wherever you're spending the most of the time in the day, just try to do things in order to change a little bit, and also because you will be able to benefit from this energy. And I know it sounds really crazy, it sounds bizarre and weird, but at the time when there is a new moon and we get rid of the old in order to make a space for the new, we are helping ourselves so much when it comes to our own personal balance, you know, and that we can really help ourselves so much with the actual rejuvenation and the actual energy and the energy flow. And then of course that reflects on us so beautifully, you know, and we don't realize this until we actually do something like this. It's the great time also if you can smudge your home with a little bit of dry sage. This is going to be something also quite wonderful, and it's going to help you to get rid of the negative energy. It's just something that is specifically going to reflect on you, my gorgeous Scorpione, because you're very deep, you're very powerful, you're very spiritual, you're very mysterious. These are all traits that are also, you know, part of your own unique energy. So this is very much so similar to Virgolini or Virgo in many different ways. So that's why you will be able to benefit from this flow of energy if you just kind of like follow this through the way I've just said it. It's not only about changing things, oh yeah, it all looks nice and pretty. No, baby, no. It's about you rejuvenating yourself and giving the opportunity to go with this particular flow, which just on another hand moves you away from the negativity, and on one hand makes you more free, makes you more happy, but on another hand, where you are frequently too restrained, you're able to see this from a different angle, so you can make the necessary adjustments by the end of this week. You will know that your commitments are going to be tested, so you just need to remember to stay committed to the task at hand, whatever it is. Just keep going, my gorgeous Scorpioni, keep going. If you find like a difficult time, difficult moments, you know, the more difficult it's going to be, the more powerful time it's actually coming, because you are most certainly, my gorgeous Scorpioni, by the time we can get to the last part of this week, you know, the last couple of days, you will know because you will hear a certain information, and that information is going to be very specific, because you will know that you can expect a powerful change. Remarkable, because it's to do with new you, but it's also to do with the plan that and the idea, realization that if that came up like about 3 or 4 months ago, you would be like, no, baby, no. But now you're just going to be able to see this from a completely different angle. It's important because it's going to make you feel really happy. And that happiness is going to be the answer for you, which path and which direction to follow. Because there is going to be a bit of the uncertainty that you're going to have, a bit of the contemplation. But to you also, I highly recommend to try to meditate somewhere in the nature, or try to meditate and relax, you know, throughout this week, and you will be able to connect on a kind of so much higher level, you know, and that in itself brings you the answers that you wouldn't normally have. This is about the actual important week when it comes to success, material attainment, indeed an advantage. You know, you're gonna find yourself at a rather victorious moment in time, but it's to do with the stability and the certain wish, you know, some kind of problem is slowly, thank God, thank you Jesus, some problem is slowly come to an end, and you're gonna like it. That's exactly how you're gonna feel, because, you know, it's all about the actual security, safety, family, and also an important family matter. It's going to happen, and it is going to need a little bit of your gorgeous energy, my gorgeous Scorpioni. Just to remind you that your energy this week is going to be very powerful when it comes to the actual healing, not when it comes to you within yourself, but also you're going to have the power of healing when you touch someone or connect with someone or reconnect with someone. So you use this wisely, because someone is going to need your energy, my gorgeous Scorpioni. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Sagittarini. My gorgeous Sagittarius, you know what? It's just like basically what you had the patience about. You are going to have such a nice reward this time. 17th of September, 3 days before, on that day, and 3 days earlier. All this time it's going to play an important role when it comes to you, my gorgeous Sagittarini, and when it comes to the actual reward for the patience and the time that was very dark, the time that was very gray, the time that was very uneasy, the time that was very confusing over the last 11 months. Now this is going to be wonderful, because there is a beautiful candle right in the middle of the darkness, slowly going to come towards you, you know, and this candle, once this candle is very close, oh my Lord, it's going to be completely different effect on your whole life, because you're going to find yourself in a completely different dimension, and this is purely through the actual elevation of this energy, which is just going to reflect on you so beautifully. And it's not only that, it's going to help you to illuminate things around you. This is a very deep time for you, my gorgeous Sagittarini, because it's about, you know, you were so clever, you were so intelligent, you were so smart, and I'm not surprised that this is the way this Virgo energy is going to be beneficial for you. This is the way it's going to be so powerful in conjunction with your energy, because it's bringing you the biggest of all reward, a huge massive karmic reward, because you stuck to your guns, or whatever they say, you know, you just did what you needed to do, and you did the right thing, even when maybe certain people around you will say, oh no, don't don't do this, blah blah blah. Most certainly karmically you did the right thing and you were patient, and now there is a big and important reward that is going to come through, that is going to come forward. You know, on one hand it is about the actual harmony, and it's most certainly this week it's also going to need a little bit of a management for you, my gorgeous Sagittarius. So pay attention what you want to change, pay attention what you want to adjust, pay attention what needs adjustment, but pay attention what is making you feel unhappy, pay attention to what is bringing you down, pay attention to what is bringing you, making you low, because you will have such an important illuminating time that you're going to realize, you know, this, I said this millions of times, you know, this life is so short, you know, we are just passers-by on this earth, you know, we are here in this form and then we just go somewhere else, but our actual energy just goes and goes and goes, you know, but we are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 if we are lucky, you know, the time flies like this, and the people are the same here, you know, but the time just flies this like so quick. And the reason why am I saying this, my gorgeous Sagittarius, because this is the moment, the powerful spiritual moment that you are going to have. That's what you're going to feel. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to go for. It's coming from the power of your own illumination. On another hand, you know, there is a sign that you are going to have. The sign, it's gonna come in the form of a little animal. You know, we had lots of signs so far, and you, my gorgeous Sagittarius, are going to have an absolutely remarkable sign this week. And the sign that you are going to have, it is just going to confirm your way of thinking. It's going to confirm the certain process. It's going to confirm the certain changes, but it's also going to confirm to you the direction when it comes to the actual creativity and responsibility. Very important, because this is a rather generous sign, because it's going to confirm so much to you at the same time, so much for you at the same time. So you just need to kind of pay attention to the little animal. It could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be a coyote, it could be a fly, even it could be any animal, but you will know it's the part of your dimension. You will know that it found itself somewhere where you managed to notice it, but something is going to feel different, something is going to feel a little bit strange, something is going to feel a little bit bizarre. These are all little telltale signs that this is your sign, part of your dimension, and it's carrying a very special and very sacred message for you. There are a couple of things. It's carrying, as I said, you know, the direction, you know, it's going to confirm the certain direction, responsibility and creativity. There is going to be an amazing outcome, but also there is going to be the actual way out of the situation and the problem that is no longer serve you anymore, that is going to come out of it, and it's all going to make sense. And also an opportunity. You will know that a very important opportunity is going to come through, and it's not going to be that long, and that opportunity will be connected to this situation, but most importantly to the actual change as well, because something is going to feel so relaxed almost immediately, but it's to do with the changes, with the new things and things like that. But there is some kind of relaxation going to be very important when it comes to all this, because most certainly it is going to go on the next level, your life. And interesting, but the 27th of December 2020, the 27th of December 2020, it's going to be pretty much so connected to this time. So there is a very important option that is going to take off, little idea, little opportunity that is going to take off. And first of all, it's going to start in your mind, but by the time we get to the 27th of December 2020, something really big and important, it's actually going to happen when it comes to this indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Capricornius. Bam, 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 bam. Capricornius, dun, 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 dun. Capricornius, bam, 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 bam. Capricornius, bam, 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 bam. Now you also have to remember that you're going to benefit because you're very deep, you're very spiritual, spiritual, you're very powerful in itself, you know, when it comes to your sign and when it comes to all these energies. So I want to say to you that you, if you can possibly try to connect and reconnect to yourself by meditating, the nature would be the best, the forest would be fantastic. But even if you got like a really nice garden, like with lots of trees and forest, you know, wow, fantastic, you know, maybe you can do this. But as long as you have got this connection and reconnection with the nature, it's going to be so beneficial for you. And it's also going to make your meditation, contemplation and grounding so much more advanced. Also, if you do it somewhere near the water, because water is so powerful, it's so spiritual. I know it's not easy, but you know, it's not that everybody lives by the forest and by the water. But if you happen to live by the forest and by the water, then that would be like super double whammy, you know, important, double spiritual whammy, important, because it just makes everything so crystal clear. It's water, it's very spiritual, it's very powerful, but it reflects on us in this particular way. So it helps us to understand and illuminate things around us by making it very strong and powerful, by making it crystal clear. And also something is going to come to you, something so beautiful, something so clever, something so intelligent while you're doing this meditation. On another hand, you don't necessarily need to. That's one of the most important things that I was going to say. It's the actual idea, clever, intelligent, powerful idea. It's going to come to you while you're meditating. And what I was going to say, you don't have to necessarily meditate outside, but it's about the actual, or by the river, or by the water, you know, by the lake. You know, you don't have to. You can also do this at home. You know, you can use a couple of nice crystals around you, or you can just find a really nice area where you can relax, chill out a little bit, and try to relax every part of your body nicely and gently. It can be done in as little as 5 to 6 minutes. You know, you can do in a couple of minutes. It depends, you know, how far you're at when it comes to meditation, grounding and things like that. But the bottom line is, if you do it within this week, there is something very, very clever, very intelligent gonna come to you. I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that you're not clever, you're not intelligent. No, baby, no. But I'm just saying that something is gonna happen. You know, the thinking process is going to take you somewhere else, and this is gonna be mind-blowing, remarkable, crazy, and absolutely important when it comes to you making a decision later on. It's not so much about what is happening now, but later on in May 2021, you will see exactly what I was talking about, because May 2021, it's going to be super important when it comes to this particular week. And it's also the idea, the option, the realization that it's going to be on your mind. It's also going to be take off in like a May 2021. So there is some kind of process that you are going to start, the process that you are going to begin. And most certainly this is to do with your own security, and it's also to do with the actual change. You know, you're going to come to terms with a certain part of your life slowly coming to an end, my gorgeous Capricornians, at this moment in time. But that in itself is going to be remarkable, because it's almost immediately going to open the door for you. So you need to see what is slowly coming to an end, because you have been worrying so much, you have been thinking so much, you've been kind of preventing yourself to move on, and now it's time to really literally move on. But you are going to hear a very specific and very important information from somebody this week who is going to show something different about themselves. Somebody in your life is going to kind of like show maybe their real face, show maybe their real way of thinking, so show exactly how they feel. But that in itself, it's also going to be a game changer for you, because on one hand you will know that you don't need to worry necessarily anymore, because you will see that this was draining your energy quite a lot. So therefore it was affecting you, in particular when it comes to like you feeling frequently too restrained. You know, I'm gonna say this something now, I'm gonna be a dark Lala again. But be very careful, my gorgeous Capricornians. There you go, I'm a dark Lala. Of course I am. But be careful, because throughout this time, you know, to you it applies to what I said at the beginning of this video. You can use this time so beautifully in so many different ways. But now I just need to tell you that it's about a certain deception, and it's about a certain dishonesty, and it's about really kind of negative and bad influence that is going to become quite obvious. So in particular, it's to do with the double dealing and somebody who is like a no baby no, a bit of a little bastard here again. I'm afraid, my gorgeous Capricornians, a little bastard is around here, and I just need you to be careful, because the bastards have many faces sometimes, many faces. When I say that the bastards have many faces, sometimes they are like a little snake, so it's as obvious, you know, when we are about, you know, it's obvious because the bastard comes in the form of a snake. But the problem is that, you know, it's a snake, but if you haven't got the shoes on, you're screwed. You see, this is what I mean. Or sometimes the bastards are not as obvious. Like, for example, you see somebody beautiful and gorgeous, but you know something is off with their energy. So as more as you talk to them, the more you know it's like, oh, this person is not quite right, you know, there's something not right with this person. So they come in many elements, in many shapes, and in many forms, you know. But when we get to know people, we get to know the energy. So if the energy is off, most certainly it's like, run baby run. But somebody is going to maybe try to trick you into something, my gorgeous Capricornians, this week. So be very careful and take this as a blessing. If somebody is trying to do something to you, if somebody tries to have a certain dealings with you, or if you need to kind of like really sign something important, if you need to kind of begin something important, just take an extra precaution, you know, just take an extra care. Just step one, make a step back, and see if this is the little bastard that I'm talking about. But then you will know, this is like a warning. You will know, especially if somebody comes out of the blue and like ask you something, or somebody comes out of the blue, try to like sell you something, or somebody comes out of the blue and try to have some kind of dealing with something. Be very careful and have an extra caution when it comes to it. Maybe you can perhaps like wait for this period to be over, and then you can do things and carry on after that moment in time. But this sacred week, it's going to provide you with an opportunity to open your eyes, and also to understand the situation from a completely different angle, but most importantly to actually protect yourself. There will be a quiet, interesting sign from the spirit that you're going to have. Oh my God, Capricornians, I just had a vision. It's to do with something is going to fall from the sky. Maybe something is going to fall from the sky in front of you. Maybe it's going to be like a feather that you're going to find on the floor. Maybe it's going to be like a little orb that you're going to be able to see. You know, maybe something that's going to come from the sky, whether this is going to be something that you will see, or whether this is going to be something that you will see on the floor. But most certainly that in itself is going to be so important, because it's going to come from some kind of like a spirit guide, or it's going to come directly from your angel. And this is also going to bring you such an important confirmation, such an important information, such an important realization. You will know what I'm talking about, because you will be able to connect what was on your mind at that moment in time. You will be able to connect what is bothering you, what was bothering you over the 2 or 3 days previously. This is going to be direct answer to your question, to the very heavy question with lots of uncertainty. And most certainly now something is going to be so divine, so beautiful, and that is also going to be connected to the certain truth. This is where the balance is going to come through forward, and it's going to confirm the certain truth for you as well. Wow. On another hand, my gorgeous Capricornians, what else I was going to say, that also you are gonna surprise yourself, because what I said before, by doing and using these wonderful spiritual energies, you are going to be able to have the very important capacity, very strong capacity, very spiritual capacity, and you are going to surprise yourself. And this is so great, because you're going to find yourself being part of the situation where you didn't think that you're going to be part of. So this is great to take in such a way. If you feel like doing something spontaneously, my Lord, do it, because there is something sacred going to come out of it. The bottom line is that you will do something so specific, so significant, and you're going to feel so much bravery and capacity and you will surprise yourself because you are going to do something so great, and it's going to put a massive smile on your face, but then at the same time it's going to help you to sort out quite a few different problems at the same time. So you're going to surprise yourself quite nicely. Then later on this is going to lead towards a quite interesting idea as well. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to do is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful aquamarinis. Now, aquamarinis, this is going to be such a great time, you know. The big uncertainty that you had for the last 7 months, it's going to be revealed. You're going to have such a powerful, such a specific, such a strong revelation. It is going to start with a moment that it's going to be like from a completely different dimension. It is going to be the moment that you will have, and it's also going to be a very strong connection to the spirit, very strong connection to the spirituality, very strong connection to the spirit world. At the same time, you are going to have a very strange moment, very strange situation arising. Maybe you will be at home and you're going to hear like something just moves by itself. Maybe you're going to be at home, maybe the picture will fall down. Maybe you will be at home, maybe like, I don't know, a little statue would fall on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like something is going to happen. Or maybe you're just going to feel the voice, feel the vibration of the certain spirit. Maybe, you know, you're going to be able to smell the certain spirit that passed away. Letter V as in victory. It's going to be very important when it comes to this spirit. Letter V, you will be visited by the spirit with letter V. On one hand, it's going to be very victorious for you. On one hand, it's going to be very optimistic for you, very positive for you, but also on another hand, this is the sign that you're on the right path and you're on the right journey, and there is a change that is about to start and happen for you. The change which is going to start happening for you, which is going to happen for you, and the answer to change is number 11. Exactly 11 days after that, there is a specific change that is going to take place and start happening and unfolding at the same time. This is going to be something very important for you, something very spiritual for you, and something very deep when it comes to you, because on one hand it's going to confirm something to you, on another hand it's going to give you so much strength and so much courage, but then again it is just going to be the time when you're going to finally start feeling like you are able to relax, and things that have been making you a little bit stressed and uneasy and uncertain are all going to start making sense after that moment in time, because the vibration is going to be just perfect. The vibration is going to be just right. So just wait for that moment when you're going to have, and also when you hear something like fall, or maybe you will see someone, like you're walking in the forest and you see someone like strange and unusual, and then you turn around and they're not there anymore, or you just kind of come across like an unusual person, like very unusual person, and then you know that there was something so strange, like they're from a different planet. And most certainly some people live in so many different vibrations, indeed, in so many different dimensions, indeed, and we are able to feel this and sense this. It depends where people come from, it depends what people are, who people are, and it depends how old spirits they are and what their function is in this world, because we all have a wonderful function, we all have something wonderful and unique. So when you see that, whether this is going to come in the form of something falling, or you see someone, or even smell someone that passed away that you used to know, just remember, pay attention to what was on your mind that morning, even the morning before and the morning before that. What is making you unhappy? What is draining your energy? You know, what is bringing you down? And who do you actually not trust, or who you don't trust? This is going to be confirmed, my babies. Do not trust them. Who you don't trust, do not trust them. Who you had a certain suspicions about, this is also going to be confirmed about this people or a person that you had suspicions about. So it's like your little protector that you are going to have at the same time, which is going to give you the timing as well, but also it's going to make things rather victorious for you, because it's going to come to let you know that you are in for like a really important change. You just have to trust yourself, and also this is going to be a little warning meaning that you're going to be tested a little bit, and you're going to need to be analytical at the same time, but it needs to come from you, not from anybody else. You need to trust yourself, because it's going to be the time for action, and this is going to be absolutely superb and very important, not only when it comes to your own flexibility, but it's when it comes to your own courage, because your own courage is going to open the new door, open the new gateway for you, my gorgeous aquamarinis. This is very important. The gateway that is going to be open, it's going to be have a very important new stage in February 2021. How many connections with other parts of the year or other parts of the next year this is actually going to have. On another hand, my gorgeous aquamarinis, sorry, this is all about the actual great time when it comes to security, great time when it comes to the outcome of you blaming yourself for maybe making the wrong decision. And this is a lot to do with you and the people in your life. People are so important to you and the closest to you, what you were worrying about again and blaming yourself. You're going to be able to have a massive smile on your face because you did the right thing. Even if maybe certain people around you will say like, no, don't do this, don't do that, that's wrong. No, baby, no. You're amazing and you did the right thing, and this is exact outcome that you're actually going to have, my gorgeous aquamarinis. It's about the actual an important security and an important reward when it comes to your bravery as well. But on another hand, this is about an important gift. You're gonna gain an important gift. This gift is gonna be from a completely different level, from a completely different dimension, but at the same time it's going to help you with a certain vision. That gift, it's going to be connected to the certain vision that you're going to have, and that vision is going to be connected to you and the certain plans for the future as well. On another hand, it's to do with materialistic gain, but also at the same time somebody very important in your life, like a guru or a spiritual leader, it's going to have a specific message for you. So pay attention, because your spiritual leader is going to give you the time, when is the time right to light your candle within. It's to do with your passion and who you are. Okay, and also an important time when it comes to the actual swift activity, and change, sudden progress and movement. It's wonderful because it's a lot to do with negativity and maybe like some little bit of a jealous people or that have created like a certain energy around. So now this week is going to bring a swift activity and sudden progress and movement. I like this because that is going to require from you to reflect as quick as you can, and that is going to make you to make an important decision. Very, very significant and specific message you're going to receive at a time when you make an important decision. And it's to do with work, career, finances, the next option. At the same time, just pay attention because there is going to be quite a significant message that you're actually going to receive. This is going to be important because it's going to be connected to the opportunity as well, an important opportunity. Okay? And now, the next sign, sorry. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Celine. Bye, Celine. Bye, Celine. Bye, my gorgeous Pisceline, this is the week and it's time absolutely for the action, action. This is remarkable because you know what, Pisceline, my gorgeous babies, the more active you are, I said this before, this is going to be remarkable, the more you are going to achieve. But it's not only about you being active. When you use this remarkable week, when you use this remarkable stage, when you use this remarkable journey that you're actually going to have, this dimension that you're actually going to have, it's great when you use it so wisely, because what is going to happen to you is that you are going to come across the situation that is completely going to come out of the blue, like very, very spontaneous situation is going to arise. And that spontaneous situation that is going to arise, it's also going to seem like a little bit different. It's going to feel like a little bit strange and a little bit bizarre, because you will realize that you responded in a completely different way. And that in itself, it's going to be the process of change that you have already started started, but it's not only about that. It's about finding this energy, this dimension so beneficial for you at the same time, because with a snap of the finger, there is a quite important realization that you are going to have. This is nothing unusual, but it's most certainly to do with an ability to adapt. You have got a very powerful and very strong and very specific ability to adapt to the actual situations like very quickly, and it's a very, very golden little power about you actually, which you may not realize, you know, like you may not be aware of it most of the time or all the time. But when the energy is so deep, when the energy is so vibrant, when the energy is so significant, when the energy is so powerful and mysterious at the same time, these are all creating such a strong and powerful energy around us, which just makes our vibration so strong. And in particular, when it comes to you, you're very deep, you're very powerful, you're very spiritual. This is why you're going to find yourself within these energies. And I'm telling you that there is a specific spontaneous situation that you're going to have, and you're going to surprise yourself, and it's going to be remarkable, because on once your spirit is about to evolve, but for two it's also going to be the certain truth that you're going to find out. And that particular truth that you're going to find out, it's going to open your eyes, and it's going to be super important when it comes to the actual opportunity that is going to happen to you at around the end of that particular week. You also, my gorgeous Piscelinis, you will realize, you know, that I've seen this before. It's about the actual something unrealistic. You know, this is so important, my God, because sometimes we can kind of lose ourselves along our path. Sometimes we can lose ourselves along our journey, in particular if we take things too intensely. But also it depends on the outside things that are happening, like what's happening in the world right now. It's mental, it's crazy, and it's almost impossible not to be affected. It depends how much we allow it to be how much we allow this to affect us or not. But on another hand, it's just also as important to just basically to make sure that you understand that there are certain things that maybe started to drain your energy a little bit too much, in particular when it comes to the things on the outside that are happening, and they burst your bubble a little bit. And what it did to you is just kind of made you prolong a certain stage in the certain part of your life. It just kind of made you prolong, which is okay. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. And why was it happening up until this moment? Well, this is it. It's meant to happen when it's meant to happen. So now this is how this energy is going to be remarkable for you, because you will become aware of it like there is no tomorrow, my gorgeous Piscelinis. What came to an end? What is going to come to an end? Okay, 33 days later, exactly 33 days later, something amazing, unique, and very powerful is going to take place. You're going to find yourself on a completely different way, on a completely different journey, very powerful, because it's going to be connected to the opportunity that is going to take place. But that opportunity is, believe me or not, that little spiritual seed that I'm talking about, you're about to plant now. And it's going to happen when you realize that, you know, it's a bit of a fantasy, you know, that you've had that was kind of keeping you going, but now it's stopped because it kind of made you to have unrealistic attitudes a little bit, and imagination, which is nothing bad. We all do this. This is part of who we are. This is part of our process. Our thinking is our energy. Our thinking is our power. Our thinking is who we are. Our thinking gives us courage. Our thinking is directing us. Our thinking is our manifestation. We are manifesting. So this is all meant to be the way it's meant to be. But you find this and you see this as the biggest gift ever. The bottom line is you will realize what slowly came to an end and what is slowly coming to an end. Maybe there will be like a bit of an element of surprise that you're going to have at the same time, but it doesn't matter. It's important because at the same time you're going to set yourself free. At the same time, this is going to lead towards your own own security, and at the same time you're going to realize that your balance of energy is changing almost immediately. As soon as you realize what slowly came to an end, what is making you feel bored, what is making you feel unhappy, what needs changes, do you need to do this, do you need to do that, do you need to stop with this, do you simply just need to kind of brush up on a certain knowledge, maybe you just want a bit of a promotion, maybe you just don't want this job at all, maybe if you are retired you just want to change the scenery a little bit, it all depends. Just see what your spirit guides are trying to tell you, what your spirit guides are trying to let you know, what your spirit guides are trying to direct you towards, because there is at the same time new direction going to happen with two mind-blowing, unlimited possibilities. It's remarkable because this in itself, look at this. So as soon as you realize, I repeat, my gorgeous Piscelinis, I know it sounds really confusing, but as soon as you realize what is going to actually come to an end, maybe it's going to happen even in the process of while you're sleeping, while you're dreaming, maybe you're just going to wake up in the morning, maybe it's just going to come to you, maybe you're going to dream about it, maybe it's going to happen while you're meditating and contemplating. There are lots of other paths and lots of our gateways that you could actually go through in order to come across with this situation. But the bottom line is almost immediately the second day, you need to give it a one day, you need to give it a one night, and then the next day you will see it's either going to happen to you the very first thing in the morning, or it's either going to happen while you're dreaming. So let me just simplify it a little bit. So as soon as you're aware of it's going to come to you while you're sleeping, while you're dreaming, maybe the first thing in the morning, maybe when you're dealing with the situation, what I said before, something that you didn't plan, and then it's going to make you react in a certain way, and then this is all going to be connected to the new path. Whenever this actually realization happens, however it happens, just remember, and you're going to realize, oh yeah, I just don't want to do this anymore. No baby, no, I don't want to do this anymore, or I want to expand this, I don't want to go down this road, again. It's absolutely brilliant. You just need to give it one day, and after one day you will know exactly. Just pay attention to what is the very first thing on your mind, what is the very first thing in the morning. I said this millions of times. It's all about our connection, reconnection. When we sleep, we have astral projection, we have astral traveling. We are traveling, we are in touch with our spirit guides, we are in touch with our angels, we are guided by our angels, we are guided by our past relatives that passed away. It's all these things are happening while we are sleeping because we have this ability to expand our subconscious mind, and therefore this reflects on us in such a way where we find out so many wise things about us. So that's why to pay attention and see what is the very first thing on your mind in the morning is going to reveal an absolutely mind-blowing desire, determination, and almost immediately you will feel like a very strong willpower, and it's to do with a new goal, but also at the same time it's to do with the desire, it's to do with an important will, it's to do with a resolution, and very, very, very intelligent choice indeed, which is not only going to lead towards your own success, new gateway, power, it's going to help you realize how courageous you are, but it's also going to be your way towards the freedom with yourself, freedom within yourself. And also at the same time, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Piscelinis, you're going to find yourself being very you will want to wander, you are going to find yourself being very adventurous, you're going to find yourself being very curious, you're going to find yourself being very keen to find out new things, anything like that you feel, in particular when it comes to you feeling adventurous or daring, please go for it, because it is just so important to say that at the time when you feel adventurous and daring, this is also the time when your soul and spirit is letting you know that there's the very bright light shining inside within you, and it's going to lead towards you finding out something remarkable about yourself, because you're going to find yourself at the right place at the right time when you don't really plan it, and that in itself is going to connect you with the new people, is going to connect you with a new path, is going to connect you with the new opportunities, and you will know, and you're going to become aware of it, because there is going to come it's going to come to you in the form of like a new direction, new idea, but something is going to be bringing you down. Oh no, it's too challenging, no baby, no, you just go for it. I told you before in my monthly reading, if you don't jump in the water you will never learn how to swim, and now my gorgeous Piscelinis, that's where you are. Jump in the water and swim my babies, swim as deep as you can, because the water this time is super crystal clear. Even if it wasn't crystal clear, you would be able able to find your way. But now, being crystal clear, it's like, oh my God, you know. Another thing I was going to say, an important request. This is the week, my gorgeous Piscelini. There is a request, an important request that you're going to have, and it's not going to seem as important as it is, but it's more important for you to realize how important this request is. I know it sounds really bizarre, and this request is going to be absolutely remarkable, because it's going to help you to get out of the certain maybe deception, and it's also going to help you out of the certain tricky situation. So why this is going to be so important as well at the same time. But pay attention to what you feel drawn to. Pay attention to the new plan that you're going to be thinking about. And this new plan that you're going to be thinking about, it's not something new, it's something from before, in particular over the last 7 months. You know, it's the time to go for it, because even if you feel uncertainty and uncertain outcome, you're going to do absolutely great. One more thing, my gorgeous Piscelinis, you're also going to have a very powerful healing. You know, this time, this is a powerful time for healing, powerful time for rejuvenation, powerful time for the meditation in general. What I said before, you know, if you can go outside and spend some time in the nature, it's fantastic, because it's also something is going to come to you, you know, and it's going to surprise you, you know. It's very important time to try to like kind of connect and reconnect with yourself. It's going to be superb, and so in so many, you know, different levels. But then on another hand, my gorgeous Piscelinis, this is also an amazing time when it comes to the actual family matter, family issue. Somebody is going to need you. You know what I say, like when it comes to you and the power of healing, you're not only going to be able to feel this when it comes to your health, you know, you're going to feel rather energetic, but you're also going to be able to benefit from this healing energy, because if you had any ailments like that were bothering you, now you will be able to feel them, like, you know, they're slowly going away, and this in itself is going to put a big smile on your face. But there is one particular person in your life, one particular person around you, one particular person who is going to need a little bit of your gorgeous healing energy. Is the same thing I'm going to say to you. Your energy for healing is going to be so powerful, because this is how deep you are. So you will be able to reflect on this energy like, oh my Lord. So just the power of your touch is going to be very strong, very significant, very powerful, and very important. There is someone in your life, in your family, or like even best friend. It's like kind of, I feel it like a family member, which it is. They become like a family members. Just see who needs a little bit of your help. On one hand, it's going to be the family matter that you're going to need to kind of like put your foot down. You're going to need to put a little bit of your energy and input in. But on another hand, not related to that, non-related to that, is this person that is going to benefit from your touch. It's this person that is going to benefit from your power like there is no tomorrow. This is so beautiful, it's so powerful, and so karmic. Almost immediately this is going to bounce back at you. Now, I'm not saying that because you do this and just because you can have something in return. No, baby, no. I'm just saying that karmically it's an important time, very significant and specific stage, which for what you are going to be reward very, very soon indeed. You are going to feel very strongly like it's time to change, like it's time for change more than ever, and you will see exactly what I mean. Okay, my gorgeous people, I love every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos, my gorgeous people. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light. So I'm sending you the brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.